they come out clean.
Welcome back, y'all, man. Hey, we got the original cast members back. Birds in the buckets. I'm your host, Rashad. Milligan, here with my co-host, Mr. Malik Brown. Malik, what the heck is going on, sir?
What's good, bro? What's going on, bro? I had to take a little break from y'all. I'm sorry, but Rashad held it down. Shout out to Zach. I ain't finished the video, but it's funny. So I'm, but I appreciate y'all for rocking out without me, man. I love it, bro. I love it.
Man, no problem. You know, anytime. Like you said, shout out to Zach for holding it down last week, everything like that. And we always, you know, if you need to take a break for your mental or not, you know, that's been a big thing in sports and everything like that
Right.
the past couple of weeks. So, you know, we go ahead and do it. You know, show continue, get somebody else. It's all good. We coming back next week. We back and better than ever. But like I told Malik, we got a surprise guest in the waiting room, and
Man, I don't even know the guest, bro.
So here it is. Without further ado, I'm gonna let them in right now. They joining. It's gonna load up, and hey, man, you already know, man. Hey, we got one of the co-hosts in here, man. Come on now, hey. One of the best to do it, man. Stop playing with them. Hey,
what's up, man?
Douglas County's own. Douglas County's finest. Lithium Springs finest, man. What the heck? We got Jared Oliver in the building, man. Jared, how the heck is you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Good, man. You know, it's funny. Rashad, I called him and I said, so how does this work? He's like, oh, well, we have special guests to come on. I'm like, oh, I don't know how special I am, but, you know, it's cool. It's always good to chop it up with y'all, man.
Hey, man. We already know. Hey, you a special guest to me, Jared. If you're a special guest to nobody else in the world, just know you're a special guest to me, man. Oh, someone say Wi-Fi.
Oh, man,
there it is. There you go. All right, you bet. Okay. All right. We good. Oh man, Jared. So I guess just first question, you know, yeah, Jared Oliver, just a little background, a long-time sports anchor. He started off in the DMV area over there. WMDMV? WMVD?
It was WDVM.
I was close. Shout out to Hagerstown, you know what I'm saying, Maryland. Shout out to the DMV, you know, and then he moved on to Birmingham, where he was there for about a year and a half, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, there it is. But if you know Jared, then you know he's a huge Atlanta sports fan, all the Atlanta sports and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, without further ado, Jared, how'd you feel about this past weekend with the draft? For the draft, for everybody who didn't see last Thursday, the Atlanta Hawks, they selected Jalen Johnson, freshman out of Duke, with the 20th pick. And then in the second round with the 48th pick, they picked the hometown kid, Sharif Cooper, from Auburn and McEachern High School. So, Jared, how'd you feel about the draft for the Hawks?
You know, I think they did exactly what they needed to do, in my opinion. I feel as if, you know, I don't think a concern outside of free agency is to alter the starting five at all. I think they've proven that they've been able to put some pieces together through the combination of Bogdan Bogdanovic, John Collins. Obviously, DeAndre Hunter is an up-and-coming superstar. Well, not superstar, but could be a really good player for them on the front court. So I think the goal for them was to try to find scoring and pieces to put around Trae Young, obviously. And I think they did that with Jalen Johnson. Obviously, you add versatility to their front court, someone who's long, athletic, can shoot the ball, maybe good in transition for Trae Young to distribute in transition. And obviously with Sharif Cooper I think everyone was so shocked that he even dropped to the 48th pick. I think he bought, you know, living and working in Alabama, covering the Auburn Tigers. He was the best point guard that I think I've seen in college basketball a year ago, as far as being able to distribute the ball, put people in the right places, finding guys in transition, no matter what the numbers were on transition. And, you know, the Achilles heel for him is his three-point shooting. But obviously we see how good and talented he is right now, but the goal is for him to work on that and increase that percentage. So I think the Hawks were able to do more than they probably anticipated. They got a guy who was as close to Trae Young as you can get as far as at the point guard position. He can learn from Trey, improve his three-point game. But it's when it comes to assist and finding guys in transition, putting people in the right places, having his teammates score off the ball. I mean, it's a gift. It was like a Christmas gift for the Hawks. And I think to have someone like that on their second unit is perfect. And obviously he's a hometown guy. My only concern is, why did he drop so low? Is it something that basketball executives may have known, that they may have known something that we don't know, as far as, I don't know, obviously we knew he had the eligibility issues at the beginning of the season. He didn't play for a good chunk of the first half of the season. So my concern is, what are some of the issues that may have ran into doing interviews or evaluation that the Hawks, I mean, not the Hawks, but other teams that had an opportunity to take him, they couldn't, or they didn't necessarily want to, you know, say, hey, let's take a look at this guy. What concerns us? So my concern is, why did so many teams pass up on Sharif Cooper when he was by far, if not the best point guard or second best point guard in the country last year? So that's my only concern. I don't think his on-court ability has any alarms, or that's nothing to be concerned about. But my concern is, what is it that other executives may see that maybe we shouldn't take this guy first round or high second round? That's my only concern. But outside of that, I'll give them a B+. The only reason I wouldn't give them an A is because I would have liked to see them do, or, you know, acquire someone, you know, through free agency within the draft. But outside of that, I think they had a great draft. I give them a B+.
Malik, what you got?
Yeah, so I think they did pretty good this year. I feel like this one has been different than maybe the past 4 years, because, you know, the past 4 years, the Hawks have been going for needs, basically. They needed these players. They needed, I guess, John Collins. They needed Trae Young. They needed Hunter, Reddish, like Herter, all these guys. But, you know, since they had so much success last season, it was kind of like, okay, we can just go with best player available at this point. And when they picked that 20, Jalen Johnson was the best player available. So, and he fits Trae Young, just with Trae Young on the court. Like, the fact that he can run in transition, I think he can shoot the three ball pretty well. So that's that's good too. But just another long, lengthy forward that you can put on the court with Trae Young, and then you have, of course, Cam and Hunter out there as well. Like, I feel like it'll fit pretty well. And you don't have to throw him in the fire immediately as well. Like, I'm pretty sure he's going to get a lot of reps with the Skyhawks. So you won't, I mean, I don't expect to see him as much, because, I mean, I feel like the Hawks roster is already, like, kind of complete. Like, I feel like everybody's mostly coming back from last year. So, I mean, you might see him every once in a while, but I don't think he'll be like a major piece or anything like that. So I think just being able to grab him, though, and being able to develop him is a good pick for them. And then, of course, Sharif, that was surprisingly, he dropped to that low. So, but I think that was a great pick for the Hawks as well, because it's kind of like, you need a point guard that plays like Trae Young, especially coming off the bench. And I know I saw somebody on Twitter talk about, you know, usually, like, teams, they have the bench, the second point guard coming in, and then, like, the whole offense changes. Like, it's nothing like the first unit. So having somebody like Sharif that can pass the ball like Trae Young, can get to the lane like Trae Young. You can't shoot like Trae Young, but passing and being able to get into the lane are two important things that you can bet on in this offense. So I think that was a great pickup for the Hawks. I didn't expect it. It's every time I feel like the Hawks should get a certain player that everybody's like, oh yeah, the Hawks need to get them, they never get them. So this was kind of like the first time where it was like, oh shoot, they actually got a player that everybody wanted. So I feel like these two picks were big. Like, Schlenk did his thing again, and I would give him a B too. Like, I feel like I think they did their thing.
So you would say Schlenk did his thing. Schlenk thing.
He
Anyways,
did it. Yeah, Schlenk did it.
Jared, you yeah.
Schlenk did it, man.
You're unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh no. You were unmuted, so I was like, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Is my connection good?
Yeah. It's cutting in and out every now and again, but I can still hear you.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just saying Schlenk did his thing, man. I think he's got a good vision as to what the team really needs. And I think he's listening to all the voices around him, the people who are there, as far as Dominique Wilkins, or just listening to people who understand what this team needs alongside with head coach Nathan McMillan. Like I said, I think this was probably one of the more accurate drafts that they've had as far as necessity, because they've got so many pieces, man. They've got so many scorers. They're all young. A lot of them are able to handle the ball, score off the ball, and score in transition, rebound, and play defense. Now, obviously, that's been the issue for the Hawks to play defense, which is still, something to work on. But I think the Hawks, obviously with Jalen Johnson, are a very, very talented player. But I think the trending topic or the storyline is just getting Sharif Cooper at pick 48. I mean, he was projected to maybe be a top 10 pick in some mock drafts. And now you get a guy to be on your second unit when Trey's not out there. You can get him some breaks. You can get him some minutes on the bench and still have a talented guy who potentially has the upside to be a starter in this league. I mean, he has the skill set to be a really, really good point guard in this league. And for us to have him for him to drop to the pick at 48, that's huge, man. I think everyone's pretty much excited about it. Like I said, my only concern is, what do other executives and basketball aficionados see that they didn't want to pick him? But as far as on the court, I mean, yeah, stellar move.
Yeah. So two things there. I know, Malik was just saying how the Hawks usually don't get the player that everybody's like, that's the obvious pick. And I feel like that's an Atlanta sports thing. It's like, Chris Paul, Marvin Williams,
Cal Pitts.
Cal Pitts is that's the first one I thought of, but I tried to, set it up. But Cal Pitts with Justin Fields, everybody. Justin, he's from Atlanta, and they go, oh my gosh. You have Hayden Hurst. He's a pretty good tight end already. He's not old. He's not that old. And but anyway.
He's not Cal Pitts.
Yeah. He's not Cal Pitts, but Cal Pitts can literally be Jesus at the tight end position, and it wouldn't help the Falcons win one more game than they would have won without Cal Pitts. That's the reason why you don't get – but anyways, so moving on, but that's something that Schlenkish kind of changed. Like you said, a couple of years ago, Cam slides to 10. He was a guy that everybody thought was going to be in the top 3, coming out of high school. They thought it was going to be RJ number 1, Zion number 2, and Cam number 3 coming out of high school for the draft. So to have him slide all the way down to 10 because of that injury he suffered at the end of his Duke career and stuff like that, that was kind of the first time everybody was like, draft Cam, and it happened. And then a couple of years later, Sharif, you're like, there's no way. Toronto had 2 picks ahead of the Hawks 48. You're like, they need a replacement for Kyle Lowry. And they draft some David Johnson from Louisville? Who knows one player who was on Louisville last year? I know Haley Van Lith. From the women's side, I don't know one player on the men's team. Kevin Wares, ain't nobody watching no Louisville no more. Come on, dog. Except for Jack Harlow, he the only one watching Louisville. Anyways, David Johnson goes 1 pick ahead, and Toronto passed up on him twice. They needed to replace him with Kyle Lowry. That goes back to what Jared was saying of what the heck is going on. And Perk said the same thing. Kendrick Perkins said the same thing on the air. Me personally, I don't think it's that deep. I think it's literally just people have concerns about a small point guard, his size, his lack of defense, and the fact that he can't shoot. Those are 2 very large components of the game that people are concerned about, and for great reason. Because it's like, yes, Trey had the size thing, he had the defense thing, but he was a lights out shooter and can score from anywhere and prove that he could dominate against any defense. Same thing with Sharif. So it'll just be very interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, man, I guess moving along, like you say, free agency starting up. Hawks made their first move of the offseason with getting rid of Bruno Fernando and Chris Dunn, 2 guys that didn't really play much last season, to the Boston Celtics in the 3-team trade with the Sacramento Kings to bring back another guard, Delon Wright. So, fellas, what is your thoughts on the Delon Wright trade, if you have any?
Yeah, I like that. I really did. I mean, I kind of like when Tristan Thompson got here, but that was short lived. But yeah, I think Delon Wright. I've watched him like the past 2 seasons, and he's been solid. He's been real solid. He can shoot the ball. He can defend. He's maybe like 6'3" or something. Like he's pretty lengthy for a point guard. So, and the Hawks need a point. I mean, that's what they kind of needed in Chris Dunn. Person that can come in second unit, a point guard that can come in second unit and defend. And I mean, you can actually put him next to Trey as well, so he can play off ball if he needs to. Like, I think that's a great pickup for a team that really hasn't had success with backup point guard since Trey's been here. Like, I honestly feel like the best backup they had was Jeremy Lin. Like, I mean, Jalen Adams wasn't really doing much.
Jalen Adams.
Bruh, that was
all due respect, but bro, I ain't heard that name in 8 years, dog. Hey,
that was out of left field.
Yo, he said, like, I'm thinking he's gonna say like, who was it? Brandon Goodwin? He said was Jalen Adams even on the team when Trey got drafted? Because I know he was 17, right?
Yes, he was the backup. He was the backup when Jeremy got traded.
Wow. Jalen Adams was the backup when Jeremy
Adams was yeah. I was gonna go from
the
from
Hawks
there
have gone through
to now.
some dark times, man.
Yeah, that was a rough
Trey,
time.
yeah, Trey Young going through some. Hey, he deserves everything he got with the ice trade deal and doing the dance. He deserved all that. You had Jalen Adams as your backup dog for months
He
in the
ain't
league.
no more, is he?
Woo!
I have no idea where that got.
I mean, I know a Woj report on wherever he goes because he went to Woj school. He went to St. Bonaventure. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, wow.
So Woj always reports where he goes. So that's how I keep up with Jalen Adams. I know he signed with Milwaukee. You know, Bud gave him another chance. He loved him. And I think he was on like a 2-way Exhibit 10 or something like that. And then ever since then, I don't know where he is. He's kind of like floating. So, you know, shout out to Amari Spellman too, because that's another guy who's kind of floating. And I'm like, dang. Torian Prince traded once again, traded
CP.
1, 2, 3 times, traded 3 times since he's been on the Hawks.
CP.
That's a guy who was your second best player when Trey first got to the team. So Trey's dealt with some tough. Hey, like I said, he deserved all the little kids doing this and everything and buying his shoes. He deserved all that, man, because he done been through some tough times in Atlanta.
Yeah, and to kind of add on to that point, obviously we've seen with Atlanta teams over the course of so many years, like they'll have a great year, and then the following year, you know, they don't meet the expectations that everyone has for that team. So obviously, because, you know, looking back before Nate McMillan took over, nobody thought the Hawks were going to the playoffs. Over so many course of years, Atlanta sports specifically, when a team does well one year and then the following year, they don't meet the goals or the expectations that people may have of them the following year. And I think Travis Schleck has done a great job to make sure that this team is still heading in the right direction to be able to, you know, consistently be good in the Eastern Conference where it's very competitive now. So I do like that. I think they're putting the right pieces. I feel like you can't have too many athletes around Trey, whether they can shoot, post up, especially produce in transition. So I think they've done a great job to do that and adding players not only to the starting lineup, but on the second unit. So, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to take note of the Hawks next year. You know, it's going to be tough. You know, when you have a healthy Brooklyn team, you never know what Philadelphia is going to do. Obviously, the Milwaukee Bucks are still going to be good and talented. And, you know, you've got, well, the Wizards. They're depleting now. They lost Westbrook. So, but nonetheless, I mean, it's still competitive in the East, and it's going to be top heavy. The top 3-4 teams are still going to be very competitive, and they can all win a championship or at least make it to the NBA Finals. So it's going to be tough and competitive. So, yeah, so far headed in the right direction.
I guess playing off of that with the Eastern Conference getting tougher, one of those top teams in the top half, Miami bringing over Kyle Lowry now. You know, a lot of people are saying Chris Paul really helped Lowry's market value, you know, being an old point guard that people considered over the hill. So, you know, what do you think Lowry can bring to Miami? And is that kind of like a little threatening to what the Hawks have going on?
A whole lot of flopping. No, I mean, Kyle Lowry, of course, he's a vet. He's a vet in the league. You know, can score he can get to the lane. He's good for creating contact anywhere, getting a foul. So, I mean, I think I don't know if he moves the needle that much for the Heat. Like, I mean, I think Goran was pretty solid. I mean, he was up and down last year, but Goran was pretty solid. I mean, I don't know how much a difference is Goran from Cal. Like, if I'm being honest, I don't think it's.
But look, Malik. But what if you get the package deal that they're talking about with DeMar?
What's the deal?
DeMar. Like
so they get DeMar too?
No. Well, no, they don't get DeMar as a part of the deal, but it's like DeMar signs with Lowry for
coming with Cal
reunite.
Yeah. Then you don't really have spacing. Like, nope. If you got, I mean, Cal can shoot, but Jimmy's not really that much of a shooter. DeMar really can't shoot. Bam really can't shoot. Like, I mean, I don't really know. Space is gonna be horrible.
Yeah, I think it's more of a lateral move. I don't think it's a move forward. I think it's more of a lateral move. I mean, yeah, Kyle Lowry is great, and he's been good for several years in the NBA. But do I expect him to move the needle or to elevate them to a world championship level? I don't see that. I mean, yeah, Bam is great, but I just think it's more of a lateral move than something, to put them in the conversation now. This team is maybe a finals competitor. I just don't know because, the East has gotten so much better, and I don't know if Kyle Lowry is that extra piece for them to get over the hump now. Is he a good player? Yeah. Can he shoot it? Is he clutch? Yeah, for sure. No question. He's proved that over and over and over. I just don't know if it's enough. That's my thing.
But I would say this. Do you guys think that DeMar is a upgrade over Andre Iguodala?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
As far as, because he's your guy. He's one of your main players. Andre Iguodala he's been a superstar. He's a defensive specialist. But he's not a prolific scorer like DeMar DeRozan. I don't think so. I think
he's not that guy, but he's not that guy.
You're not that guy. You're not that guy. You're not that guy, buddy. Yeah, that's my thing. So I'll take DeMar DeRozan over Andre Iguodala right now. And that's no disrespect to Iguodala. But
in 2021, Iguodala
sure, a better upgrade. Well. But hopefully, Andre Iguodala can lace it up for the Lakers.
Iggy to the Lakers, man. The Lakers gonna get everybody, but the East is, so you got Brooklyn up. Well, I'll be respectful. The defending champs up top, Milwaukee, then Brooklyn. Then you have who's the third team? Boston. They were supposed to be that third team, but they just keep fumbling the bag every time. Like, it's like they put it right in their hands and they keep fumbling the bag. Who else do you have? You have – I can't really think of too many other people.
Philly?
Oh, Philly, yeah. Yeah, but you don't know what they're going to get back for Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
So it's, it depends. Like, if they get just a bunch of picks back, okay, they're in rebuilding mode, so.
Right. I think it's fair to say Brooklyn is the number one, right? The assumption that if they stay healthy, they'll be the favorite to come out of the East. Second should be Boston, right?
No, the defending champs.
Right.
Don't do that.
Oh, here you go. Keep it a start.
Because, man, look, Ron. Look, I love – look. The Bucks obviously are world champions, and I'm not gonna throw shit on them. It's too early to do that, but they're great. They're great. I'm a believer. I just have my issues with the Bucks.
He scored 50 in a game in the series clincher, bro.
You know what? I think
Giannis is a generational player.
I know. I think my thing is I look at Giannis as a superstar, and I expect him to play like a perimeter player. And I think I just have to accept that he is a big man who's capable of playing so many different ways. Because I'm looking at Giannis as someone who's going to close the game. And I don't think I can look at him like that. He has to have a really good player as Batman, like a number 2, like Chris Middleton. You know, he has to have that.
It worked. It worked. They won the championship.
It worked. It worked. No, but I'm saying like but I look at him like he's got to be the guy to have the ball in his hand at the last 5 seconds of the game. And I don't think
did Shaq need the ball? Did the Shaq need the ball in the last 5 seconds of the game?
Shaq didn't need the ball, but Shaq had Kobe Bryant.
And Giannis has Chris Middleton.
But the thing is, Giannis doesn't have a Shaq type of guy on his team.
What do you mean?
Giannis doesn't have a Shaq on his team. So I'm looking at
Giannis. Shaq. Giannis is Shaq.
Okay, but I'm saying he doesn't have another superstar on his team.
Chris is good enough.
Yeah, but he's not a Kobe Bryant.
Did you see that shot he hit in? What was that game? Yeah, he doing that bank spin move, fade away in your face all bound. It looked like a terrible shot, and he do nothing but swish it. He did that the whole playoffs. Crazy. Yeah, I was like, yo, this dude is.
He closed like over and over.
Yeah, he did it in Phoenix, and then he did it in Game 6. I was like, bro.
I think I have to adjust to just understand that Giannis is a power forward who has amazing range in his game.
He's literally
he won't be the guy to hit a buzzer beater 3. He just won't
it's like Shaq, bro. You have to think about it like this. The reason why you think that is because he starts to play off on the perimeter. So if you get the ball up here, like Shaq didn't get the ball up there, it's a different day and age, you know, where the big men, they get the ball up top, you know. So I mean, I look at Giannis, the way he dribbles and handles the ball and the way he can run with it in transition. I look at him, like you say, like as more of a 3 than a 5, you know, but the way that he actually is with his game and his strengths are, you know, more so to the 5. But So
are we doing predictions in this or no?
No. We're just talking about the top half of the Eastern Conference.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right. Brooklyn 1, Boston 2, Bucks 3, Hawks 4, Philly 5. Yeah.
So you got Miami 6.
Yeah, and then after that, I mean, it's just yourself.
Yeah, Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte, Chicago, maybe. I don't know.
New York?
Oh yeah. Oh, Chicago. Oh,
yeah, Chicago.
How about Chicago?
Yeah,
Chicago, man. They're young.
They're getting Lonzo. So you're gonna have Lonzo, Levine, and Vucevic.
I think they could be really good.
Yo, that's a 3 right there. Lonzo, Levine, and Vucevic. I don't know, man. They might be what the Hawks were this year.
Yeah,
that surprise team, get the 5th seed and make the run. But one thing with the Hawks that kind of set them apart from all the other young teams it's the depth, the fact that they could go 2-3 deep and stuff like that. That's something that a lot of other places can't do. And then, you know, you're talking about New York as well. Do you guys think New York gets a star this summer, or is it just Stephen A. Smith pushing propaganda?
I think they're going to struggle to be able to do what they did last year, just because the East is so strong. Not to say that they won't be competitive. I don't know if Julius Randle will have the same season he had a year ago. That's just my thing. Because he was, I mean, you know, no shade to him. I mean, he obviously put in the work to get to that level to become, you know, his first All-Star appearance. But I don't know if that team has what it takes to do what they did last year. Because the East is just so top heavy, man. Like it's you run into those teams, and I don't know if they have enough. I mean, yeah, they play great defense, but you still got to score the ball. You know what I mean? And Julius Randle, him being your number 1 option in certain situations of the game, I don't know how well or successful that could work for you. I mean,
they need a point. They don't have a point guard. I just thought about that. Like
they don't have.
Rose is going to be a year older.
Yeah, they have Derrick Rose, but that's not going to get you. That's not going to get you to the finals or the Eastern Conference Championship. Will they be competitive in the playoffs? Yeah, you know, they could go to Game 7. I just don't know.
They need to get to Game 6 first before they talk about a Game 7.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not writing New York off, but I just think they'll have a tough time next year. I think they'll have the same result as the Hawks had again after they beat the Celtics in 2016 in Game 7, and they followed up with the next year not really doing well. I think they'll kind of have that type of season.
Yeah, I always look at like when I think of Julius Randle, I always think of like those games where he was playing the Hawks against the regular season and he just was not missing. And I was in the back of my head, I was always like, he's not like that. Like Julius Randle isn't like that. But I mean, he was doing it all season, so it was kind of like
You're
I
not
can't
that guy,
say
bro. You're not that guy.
but like Jerry said, like he put the work in. Like I mean, he was an all-star and whatnot. So I mean, he did what he had to do. But at the same time, it's like everybody else around him. It's kind of like, okay. I mean, Derrick Rose was really the second best. Well, shoot, the best player for the Knicks in the playoffs. But he's probably not. You don't know if he's going to come back. So you got to bank on Emmanuel quickly stepping up. RJ Barrett has to play better. Obi Toppin has to step up. Like, you don't know if these guys are going to step up. Like, I don't even know when these dudes got drafted. Like, were they drafted like late?
They got
first round,
Grimes.
second round?
They got Quentin Grimes at the end of the first round.
Oh,
Pretty good player. Pretty good player.
Yeah, he's solid.
McDonald's All-American 2018. Started off at Kansas, ended at Houston. Yeah, solid player.
Solid. He's real solid.
Yeah. And then Mitchell Robinson's coming back next year too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Mitchell.
The thing with the Knicks, I think, and this is the problem that the Hawks had a while ago. They have a lot of role players, and that only gets you so far. You know, you have so many role players, and you don't have like a de facto starting five who everyone kind of has a solidified role and can take over a game any given night, or when they need to draw up a play to go to someone specifically. Outside of Julius Randle, I think they just have a lot of role players, which is what the Hawks had, and they had those problems for the past few years too.
Only LeBron can take some role players to the promised land. That's the only player I can really see doing something like that.
What team? Because I'm not letting y'all say that. And I'm not letting Jared say, "Oh yeah, for sure." I'm not letting him agree with that. And then you guys just get it for so long.
Yeah, because
LeBron carries everybody to the championship. LeBron changes the whole team. He's 10 straight finals appearances. Okay, he had Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love.
He took his first
No. Let's not talk about that.
When they got swept against the Spurs in the finals.
The first time he went to the finals.
Larry Hughes was a near all-star on that team. Zydrunas Ilgauskas was still in his prime at that time. And then Boobie Gibson was literally blacking out for 2 weeks. He got hot. He became the hottest player in the world.
The role players.
When Boobie Gibson blacks out and scores 30 points in a quarter and blacks out one of the best defensive teams of the decade in the Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Who should have been in the finals.
That's literally what got them to the NBA Finals. It wasn't like LeBron just carried them and nobody else did anything else. Like Zydrunas Ilgauskas was a 2-time All-Star in his prime. You had Larry Hughes, who's just coming from Washington, where he was a on-the-fringe All-Star player. And then
on the fringe, he's not an All-Star.
On the fringe.
It's Josh Smith. If Josh Smith was on the fringe All-Star, is he going to help a team in 2012, 2011? Yes, because he was a really good player. He just missed the All-Star team. So, you know, I mean,
if you are discrediting LeBron James and making the finals, well, how was it 10 years in a row?
He had Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh,
a washed-up
Kevin Love, Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas, Anderson Varejao, who averaged 20 points. Anderson Varejao averaged 20 points a game when LeBron went to Miami.
I am not saying LeBron James.
What about the last time he went?
The only reason he's gotten to the finals, but he is always has been the legitimate reason as to why his team makes it to the finals or even the 10 straight finals. I mean,
yes, a legitimate reason, but it's not like he's carrying Bob and Pete to the NBA Finals because he had Bob and Pete.
He carried Bob and Pete to the finals.
He had Bob and Pete his first year in Los Angeles, and they didn't make the playoffs. So it's like we saw what happened if you put LeBron on with Bob and Pete. And then it was LeBron doesn't have any help. And then he gets help, and then they win the championship.
Whether you think he carried them or not, making the finals 10 straight times, that is insane.
Extremely impressive. But you guys said that the only player who can take a team of role players to the finals is LeBron, and that's not true. He had Hall of Famers with him every time.
He's had really good role players, but he hasn't had multiple All-Stars on his team outside of Kyrie Irving. Anderson,
Dwayne Wade and Chris
Dwayne
Bosh?
Wade, Chris
Okay.
Bosh.
Chris,
Okay,
with
I'm not
Derrick
talking about. I'm
Rose,
not talking about the
Isaiah
Heat team.
Thomas.
I'm not talking about the Heat team, not the Heat team.
I'm talking about the
saying.
Cleveland team. He had Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas, Dwayne Wade.
Derrick Rose.
Bro, that team was bad.
They're all Hall of Famers
Rose.
though.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, okay, so everybody got traded.
It's not hard to make the Hall of Fame in basketball, bro. Don't do that. It's the Naismith
It's
Hall
not
of Fame.
hard in
NBA Hall of
football
George
either.
Hill, Kyle Korver, who else was like Rodney Hood?
Yeah.
Dang, all them dudes was all-star. Kyle Korver was an all-star. Isaiah Thomas was in the MVP race the year before with the Celtics. Dwayne Wade is a Hall of Famer. You know, hey, Derrick Rose was the MVP 5 years before then. You know what I'm saying? Hey, them jokers have.
I'm not talking about specifically that team. Because, I mean, okay, he had Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, all them. But after they got traded, I mean, he had Kevin Love, but he really didn't do nothing in that finals either.
LeBron James is
last year they played the Warriors. And he had all them role players and Kevin Love. And I don't even know who the center was. Tristan Thompson?
Yeah, look, LeBron James has 4 championships, so there's that.
Salute to LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Hey, strive for greatness. Watch Space Jam 2 out right now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't take little Bobby and little Mr. Towel Boy dancing at the game. He ain't take them jokers to the finals. He took actual. Okay, but that last year, I guess you can make an argument. Because I'm like, dang, who did he have on that team? It was he had J.R. Smith. Okay, yeah, J.R. Smith messed up game 1. Dang, who was on that? Who was the starting point guard?
George Hill.
George Hill was the starting point guard?
Yes.
Okay. He took a team of role players in 2018. That's the only year I'll say he did it because Kevin Love fell off by that time. So Kevin Love wasn't the Kevin Love.
Wasn't Kyrie hurt that year too? Wasn't Kyrie hurt?
I think that was the first year Kyrie was in Boston, right?
That was when Kyrie was gone. That's when he got traded to the Celtics.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And they were struggling to get past Boston.
Role players.
Wasn't he averaging 50 points in the finals that year?
He had 50 the first game.
No, I think he averaged 50 for the series, right?
Ain't no way. I would have remembered that.
Nah.
But
he only scored 50
it doesn't matter.
But he had like 30.
Because Kevin Durant got them out of here real quick. So, it don't even matter.
Man, I mean, yeah. So.
He died.
He's that guy. He's that guy.
But hey, man. I guess Malik, you got anything else before we go to our usual questions at the end?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. All right, Jared. So we have a set of usual questions that we ask everybody in the off season. I guess it's going to start off with, what was your favorite Hawks team of all time?
I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but I got to say right now, it feels pretty good to be a Hawks fan. I mean, I know a lot of Hawks fans will be like, oh, the Josh Smith, the Joe Johnson, those days. I mean, the Highlight Factory days. It was fun to watch that team play. But I feel like this team right now, I love this team right now. I do. I think they have a lot of promise. And like I said, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but I think this team right here is legit. I think they'll be really fun to watch. They'll make some noise in the playoffs. Legit. It won't be like that one year when they were the number 1 seed and got swept by LeBron.
That was rigged. That was rigged. Everybody know that was rigged.
Yep. LeBron was hitting.
NYPD beat Thabo Sefolosha out the playoffs before the playoffs. And then Dellavedova dove for everybody's legs. He dove for Damari Carroll's legs, took Damari Carroll out, tried to take Kyle Korver out, and tried to take Al Horford out, all in the same series. Well, I think
LeBron hit a crazy
regular.
Off the glass shot on the side.
LeBron did some crazy stuff that series.
Yeah, LeBron. It was like the Harlem Globetrotters. No, I love this team. I do like this team. I think they got some good pieces. As far as now, I mean, I obviously want to go back to the days of the Highlight Factory when they were just flying up in the air and dunking the ball off the alley-oops and stuff. But I love this team. I like this team a lot.
Malik, anything? Any feedback on that?
I do think this year this team like is legit. Like Jared said, I think this team is legit. Like I think we're gonna see them in the playoffs like for maybe a long time. I mean as long as Trey's there. But I really like y'all know I really watched the Hawks until like 2012 or something like that. So I mean when I first started watching the Hawks, I think Mike Bibby, Joe Johnson, Marvin Williams, Josh Smith, Al Horford, that was the lineup. So I mean I guess I kind of like fell in love with that team, and then of course the 2015 team, that I guess that's always the team that everybody's like, yeah, that's my favorite season or whatnot. But after seeing the season like this, like it just seems it was just more exciting than 2015. Like young players, like exciting players, a lot of highlights. So I think I enjoy this. I enjoy watching this team more than any other past team.
I think this team right now has less hype around it. It's more of they're actually good. You know, it won't be just like it won't be like just they were good one year and then they're not good the next year. I think this team will actually be good in the coming years. So this team feels a lot different than the 2015 team. I'm not going to go back and talk about the Dominique Wilkins days because I wasn't around for that, because I know people are going to be like, oh, how could you say that? No, I'm not about to go back. I wasn't even born around that time. So, yeah, I like this team a lot. Obviously, the Mike Bibby days, Josh Smith, Marvin Williams, and that whole crew, they were good, but I think this team is more legit to compete for a championship.
That man Malik said every Hawks team since I started watching the Hawks except for 2016 all the way up to 2019. I feel it, bro. I feel it. He said the Josh Majette days. Every era except for the Josh Majette era. But when Jared was talking about this team and how fun they are and them following up, we missed a very important thing. The report that the Hawks are gonna bring back, or it looks like they're gonna, once free agency starts officially, they're gonna sign John. I was about to say John Jenkins. They're about to sign John Collins to 125, 120, 120, 125 years. That's a lot of money. Just I guess quick thoughts on that before we ask the final question.
Congratulations to him. He deserves it. I'm lying. He does not deserve that money. I'm lying. He does not deserve $120 million. My thing is, like, I love John Collins. He's been great. But
you don't speak down on a black man like that getting this money, Jared.
Look, it's basketball. It ain't about race right now. For him to get $120 million, for him to play the way he did in the playoffs, I just can't give you that money. Now, granted, I think the Hawks don't really have a choice but to give him that money because maybe they don't have the marketability yet to get a box office player in free agency yet, so you got to pay the guy. And I mean, yeah, he's played well since he's been there. People like him. He's a well-liked guy. Super cool. I just that $120 million. I don't remember his stat line in the postseason, but I don't know if it's worth that, man. That's a lot of money to give to someone who really didn't deliver in that Milwaukee series. Even when Trey was out. I mean, if I'm paying you $120 million, you got to step up and be the guy. And the reason why they come out of that series and win. He didn't do that. And playoff basketball is much different than regular season. So I'm glad he got the money. That's generational wealth right there for his family and people to come after him. But if we're just talking about basketball and market value in that position and just based on what everybody else is getting, man, I'm sorry. I would have had to give you 75, man.
Then you weren't even going to give him 80, 90?
I mean, I'll give you 92 for tax reasons, like.
I say 92. I say 90. Yeah, I say 92. But, yeah, the fact that he got over 100.
He turned down 90, didn't he?
Yeah, he turned down 90 before the season. Yeah. Yeah, so, like, the fact that they just was like, well, all right, 120 before free agency even started was, I don't know, that was crazy. But in my opinion, that was crazy. But, man, I mean, like, I think it's a chemistry thing as well. Trey's, best friends, you want to keep Trey happy. And then as people have said on the pod,
you give him Trey Young and John Collins are best friends.
You're right. Right. How do But what I do know on the court,
Rashad is in the
on the
group
court,
chat.
on the court, I do know on the court they have a good connection, and they're pretty close on the court. Off the court, we have no clue. I don't know y'all. I don't know what y'all be doing off the court, but on the court, I do know that was. Thank you, Malik, for keeping me honest on that, because I was about to roll with that. They're best friends. But yeah, you know, you want to keep Trey happy on the court and everything like that. But also, as people have said on the pod before, you give him his money now and you figure the rest out later. If it's a bad contract, you know, you need bad contracts to make big trades in the league as well. So, you know, you have that in your pocket and you can always get rid of him. If Jalen
That's a good
Johnson
point.
turns out to be a good guy, and then, you know, you already have Cam and those guys, and Onyeka develops as well in the front court, then you have Onyeka and Jalen Johnson in the front court for you, two first-round picks and guys who are working out for you like that. So if you wanted to trade them then to pay Cam, then you could do that in a couple of years. But as of right now, keep the team together as long as they can stay together, because Herder's going to get paid. He's going to get his money. He's probably going to end up leaving. You know what I'm saying? Another one of those guys is probably leaving. So get as much from this group as you can by overpaying for John right now, and you can always trade him later. So that's my thoughts on it. Malik, anything?
That's a really good point.
So John, dang, so it's crazy because I think Trey can sign an extension tomorrow too, right? John,
Yeah.
I mean
Trey can
Kevin,
sign
right?
his super max or whatever he's eligible for.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I
It's
don't
coming.
really like counting another man's pockets. I was told never to do that. But I mean 120 is a lot. And for what he did in the playoffs, I mean it really isn't 120 worth. But I mean, I feel like John has shown that he's a 2010 guy. Like he can do that on a nightly basis. I don't know as far as like playoffs, it may not, you know, that may not come like it did in this playoffs, but I mean,
I'm
for
gonna
what
say it
he's
anyway. I'm
shown
gonna
these
say it
past,
anyway. I was gonna behave and not say it. I'm gonna say it anyway. If you're a 20 and 10 guy, why won't you 20 and 10? There's plenty of games this season when Trae Young was out. He was hurt more than ever
true, yeah,
in his career this season. In the games he was out, you really needed 20 and 10 from John Collins. You really needed 30 and 15 from John Collins. A lot of those nights that he's had with Trae Young, lobbing him the ball. It seemed like in a lot of games
yeah.
without Trae Young, he didn't know what to do offensively without Trae Young feeding him the ball on a baby spoon. That's
His
what it
game was
looked like.
exposed a little bit.
I mean, I feel like most of his offense is, I've said, like it's predicated on Trey. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, so he needs Trey to get that 20 and 10. So Trey helped him get 120. Congratulations. Like, I mean, you better dap him up or something, but
Man, Ice Trade giving out assists
yeah.
on the contracts too? Man. You throw him
But yeah, I
alive in the
mean-
front office.
Right. But like Rashad said, I mean, you sign him to the contract now, you can trade him like whenever, like you can trade him because, you know, other guys like Bradley Beal or maybe Cat or Jaylen Brown or something, like, I don't know, somebody might just get tired of their organization, want to, you know, request a trade, like Donovan Mitchell. Like, you need a big contract to trade for those players. They couldn't do it now because John Collins is making like what? He's on what, $2 million, maybe 3. I don't know how much he's making like right now, but he's making a lot to trade him. So, you know, you could package him with John and Kevin, or I mean, if you get down as Mitch, you probably gonna have to give up Cam or Hunter with John or something like that, something crazy. But I mean, it works out now. So if you don't like what he's doing, trade him.
All right. And the final question of the night, Jared. Everybody that comes on, we're asking them their Hawks Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore, you get 4 guys.
Oh, Rushmore, man, you put him on the spot. Obviously, Dominique. Can I go Spud? I can go Spud.
Okay.
Oh man, I gotta go Joe Johnson, right?
Okay, yeah.
It's too early to say Trey.
No, it's not.
Too early. I can't do it.
No, it's not.
I can't do it. It's too early. Oh man. The fourth is always the hardest. It's always the hardest. Doc Rivers?
That's different.
No one's never said that one, huh?
No one's ever said Spud. No one's ever said
That's
Doc.
really different. Yeah.
I was thinking Josh Smith, but I don't know if he's a Mount Rushmore. I don't know if he's a Mount Rushmore.
That's a lot of guys you're putting Josh Smith over, if you do it. But if you did it, I would understand. He's there for a while. 05 to like 2013.
Yeah.
That's
but the thing is, man, Joe Johnson's got records, man.
Yeah. Joe's different.
The record books. Doc Rivers is obviously in the record books. He just broke Trey's assist record, right?
Yeah. He had like the single game assist record for the Hawks, I believe. Yeah. Or it was something along those lines.
Obviously Dominique. That's not even an argument. And Spud, yeah. I mean, Spud was cold too, man.
And then iconic.
Has anyone ever had those four on the show?
No. No one had Spud. No one had Doc.
They're gonna kill me for that.
Just about everybody's had Dominique and Joe.
Yeah, they're gonna kill me for that, but it's fine. I'm rolling with it.
All right, Malik, who's your 4 this week? Because it changes every week from Malik.
This man has a 4 every week.
So Jeff Teague gets a champion now, and I told everybody once Jeff Teague wins the championship.
All right, I gotta holler, man.
He is penciled in. He is penciled in.
You got to see it through, my boy.
Putting Jeff Teague there, and he's not coming out. Jeff Teague, Joe Johnson, Neek, and I'm gonna go Al. I'll go Al.
I did forget about Al Horford, man.
I was joking in my mind. I was like, this dude gonna say everybody from 2012 up and Dominique. And he did it.
Yes. I feel bad because you guys gotta do this every week and pick a new 4, right?
A lot of times I've been picking the same 4, but sometimes I switch it up.
Malik is now on the Jeff Teague wave. Okay, all right.
I have Dominique, Joe, Trey, and I say Trey because look, but this was Atlanta's best season. They never won a game in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they won 2. And Trey won the first one with 48 points.
So based on the history of the Hawks, that puts Trey already on the Mount Rushmore?
In my opinion, because he led the team to the best season. It's like Kawhi. Is Kawhi on the Raptors
That's just not
Mount
about
Rushmore?
the Hawks organization.
Is Kawhi on the Raptors Mount Rushmore?
Oh, yeah. He's
There it is. He's the only one to lead them to the championship.
Yeah.
Trey's the only one to lead the Hawks to Eastern Conference Finals run.
It's that easy, huh?
Hey, that say something about that franchise. The franchise need to do a better job if they want to do that.
Man, Trey's made it to Mount Rushmore already, man.
And then I'll say 4th, Dikembe.
Yeah.
Those
I would take out Spud and put Dikembe.
Okay. All right, that's more in line with what more people have been saying. So Doc is your only person that nobody said. But all right, cool. That's another episode of Bird in the Buckets. In the bag. We appreciate our boy Jared Oliver coming through. Jared, let the people know where they can find you, man.
Unmute yourself, Jared.
And it's a funny story about that. Someone told me to unmute myself on national television when Nick Saban got COVID. It's funny. Josh Maxson. You guys remember that?
I remember that because he was on Sports. He was on SportsCenter Live, and it was like, Jared, unmute yourself. So everybody's like, oh snap, this is Jared on TV. I remember that. Okay, all right.
Jared, you gotta unmute yourself, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me. So clearly, I don't know how to work this thing. Instagram, JaredOliver.tv. Twitter, Oliver_Jared. I'm currently looking for my next move. So I'll give you some more updates, or you can follow there to see where I'm going to head next. Hopefully sooner rather than later. We'll see what happens. and then we're going to keep the ball rolling and move up this chain in media.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Malik ATL as always.
Hey, subscribe to Atlanta Sports Unlimited. This is the road to 2K. You know what I'm saying? Y'all about to start seeing some ads on our videos, so don't complain about it. We hit 1,000, but we want monetized, so I had to talk to the people. I'm like, yo, what y'all doing? Get the ads on these videos, man. Get on these people's nerves. So enjoy these last. Oh yeah, he can't be rapping for free. I can't be potting for free. They gotta shimmy a budget. Hey, show us the numbers. Show us the numbers, Joe. Show us the numbers, Joe. Send us a
see the accounting.
We need to see the accounting. Respect. Two things with me: accounting and respect. That's all I needed. That's all I asked for. Parks.
Yeah. It's simple. It's simple.
Parks.
Yo, shout out to Maul and Rory.
But yeah. Shout out to those guys. But subscribe to Atlanta Sports Unlimited, man. Rashad Milligan. You can follow me on Twitter at ATL Dream Pool Party 2021. Let's get it. Until next time.
Yes, sir.
And if they come out clean.